Hi and welcome to The Winning Factor. I'm Alan Aitken, and on this show each week we take a look at some upcoming races in Hong Kong and try to isolate an element of the race, a key point in the race that we might look back on later as having decided the result. Well, Kungi Fat Choi to all our regular viewers. It's Chinese New Year this weekend, and on Monday we race at Sha Tin. Some very nice horses engaged. We're going to look at a couple of races from the support program, and the first of them is race 5, and our winning factor here, the draw. Well, this is a race with a number of fringe chances, but I think 3 that are clearly leading hopes in the race are Harmony and Home, coming off an injury break, Colonel, who has run very well for placings at his 2 starts, and the John Size trained Ping Hai Bravo, runner-up at his only run behind the very handy Inner Flame. And of those 3 horses, the 2 that I want to look most closely at are Colonel and Ping Hai Bravo, and here's the reason why. When we take a look at the map here, I think it's all going to be about location, 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 as they say in the real estate game. There is no obvious front runner here, although Colonel and possibly Hero Star do have on-pace running styles that might make them the leaders in this race. And there could be some speed out wider from the newcomer Wellington if he begins well, which hasn't always been the case at the trials. But I do think we'll only see a steady pace and a more positive version of Ping Hai Bravo this time too. Although he got a long way back, as you'll see in the form guide at his first start to Ping Hai Bravo, that wasn't really a case of his lack of natural speed. And we're going to take a look now at his race, and you'll see him on the outside, gate 13. This is race 325, and he jumps, he's one of the first out of the gates, in fact. He jumps very well, and all of a sudden there is plenty of pace underneath him, so Joe Moreira steadies back, trying to get in closer to the fence. And as you see on the heat map, there was quite a bit of pace on here, so he drifted back a long way in the race with only a couple of horses behind him in the run down towards the home turn. Now, at that stage, Joe pulled him out. He ran the fastest part of his race between the 400 and the 200, and then he was just a little bit gassed getting down to the line, and he found Inner Flame, who's pretty smart and had already had a race, just too strong for him. Now, that's the only race we've got to go on to see Ping Hai Bravo's tactical abilities under race conditions, and it was hampered by that wide draw. So I thought we'd show you a few of his barrier trials. In fact, the last 3 he had before he had that debut run. And we're just going to show you the first bit of them so you can see what a good beginner he is. He's normally out of the gates quickly and in the first couple of horses in each of these 3 barrier trials. And that's the version of him that I think that we're going to see on Sunday from a better draw this time in gate 7. So the tip in race 5, Ping Hai Bravo. His winning factor, the draw. This doesn't look a race where a horse is going to come from out the back to win, as Ping Hai Bravo nearly did on his debut, but I don't think we're going to see him there this time. The better draw this race, I think he'll be in a much more prominent position, and he can build on that excellent debut effort. The second race I'm going to take a look at on Monday is race 10. That's the Chinese New Year Cup, and every year this is a good quality race, no exception in 2020. And the horses I'm mostly looking at here are horses like Fat Turtle and Jolly Banner, coming back down in class. And down the bottom of the handicaps, horses like Tornado Twist and Raging Storm from the John Size yard, and also Perfect Match, who's got such a great record at the 1400 metres. And more specifically, the 2 that I'm most interested in here are Tornado Twist and Perfect Match. Both up in class here, but getting a big drop in the handicaps as a result. And I think they're going to prove the horses to beat. Well, first of all, let's take a look at what they've been doing. And if we go back to Tornado Twist's last run, this is race 264. And he hasn't won this season in 3 attempts in Class 2, but last time he chased home a very nice horse here in Big Party, over 1200 metres at Happy Valley. As he often does, Tornado Twist a little bit slow to begin, then Blake Shin took the shortcuts inside to run on and beat the rest, but giving £5 and a good head start to Big Party was way too much to do, and especially when we look at that heat map, and there was no real pressure on the front horses during the race. Now, that was not the case in race 253, Perfect Match's most recent run, where he came out victorious. And you'll see here he's in the purple colours up on the speed. And take careful note, the middle sections of this race in red on the heat map, high speed during the middle of the race. Perfect Match was able to cruise along with that high speed, then kick away. He was tiring a little on the line, but he was certainly entitled to. And that tactical talent, I think, is going to be very important for this race to come. Because I believe that there is a key form angle to this race, and that's a race in November, won by Encouraging, when ridden by the apprentice Alfie Chan. And in this race, we're going to take a look now. Encouraging got to the front and then just ran them into the ground mid-race, scooted away and ran a very, very fast time in winning. And I think with Alfie Chan going back on the horse, he'll attempt to do something similar here. So it looks a brutal speed. And I think with Alfie Chan bowling along in front at high speed, that could spread them out. I don't think that the barrier is going to be much of a problem for Perfect Match. I think Alexi Bedell will be able to slide him across and hopefully sit just maybe a couple of lengths off the strong speed, this time set by Alfie. And I think that that is going to give him the right place to be in the race. Meanwhile, Tornado Twist, he's never been a very good beginner, and I think he's going to get back in the field even over 1,400 metres from the inside draw, unless we see him jump a little bit better, but it really hasn't been his pattern. Like the race we saw earlier, I think with just 113 pounds to carry, Perfect Match will be gathering up the leader and shooting away at the top of the straight. And I think he'll be home and hosed by the time the finishers arrive. So the tip in race 10, Perfect Match. His winning factor is the map. I think that just the way this sets up, even though there'll be a strong pace, a strong leader like Perfect Match is able to keep in touch with the speed and then kick away as he's shown before. And I think that will be the deciding factor. Well, that's it from the winning factor this week. Kangi Fat Choi, Sundin Philo. Enjoy your Lunar New Year racing on Monday, and we'll see you next time.